Hello and welcome to the CNBC TV 18 special. I'm Shireen Bhan and my guest today is the quintessential L&T man. He's put together a large and ambitious target for the company that he will now steer as non-executive chairman. Mr. Naik, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Over 50 years at L&T, over 17 years at the head of L&T. As you move to your role as non-executive chairman, how does life change for you come the 1st of October?
Well, so far as I am concerned, I will be very well occupied on different things than what I have been used to running the company day to day, planning on a day to day, long-term strategy, vision, implementation. From that, I change the role, right? One thing is, I'm very worried always about the leadership at L&T. I have been there for 18 years. My successor is very good. I have been mentoring him for last 10 years. 3 years back, if you recall, I had announced him as my successor. Yes. And 8 months ago, I said that he will be the CEO and MD from 1st of July. So far, so good. It had been one of the smoothest transitions, perhaps, in the industry.
You were hesitant to stay on as non-executive chairman, and I know that the board had to do some amount of convincing to get you to take that role. Is it because you fear that what we've seen happen during transitions in other companies very recently in corporate India made you change your mind?
Not at all. Not at all. I think L&T has, I mean, at least I had planned it in a manner L&T transition will be smooth. My continuing has more to do with the board management, shareholder management, looking at vision and strategy when presented to the board. And sometime if the CEO and MD and the director wants to come and consult me, they can.
So you don't intend being at work every day now?
No, but once in a while, yes.
Once in a while, yes.
Yeah, non-executives are allowed to keep an office, so I have an office here.
Let me talk to you about the ambitious target that you've set out for L&T, Lakshya 3. And, you were responsible for putting together these 5-year plans, and the first 5-year plan that you had put together was in 2000. Let me ask you now about the ambition that you have for L&T. Revenue to be scaled up to 2.5 lakh crores, market cap to be scaled up to 1.5 lakh crores, to transform the company.
No, the other way around. Market cap is 2.5 lakh crores.
Yeah. And revenue 1.5 lakh crores, asset-light organization, control the working capital requirements, divest businesses worth about 10,000 odd crores. From where you sit today, how much of this you believe continues to be achievable? How much of it have you already achieved since the time that this blueprint was put in place?
I would say quite a bit is achieved, but I will be associated, although I'm a non-executive, of half-finished agenda, which is not going to remain with L&T. So restructuring, making the portfolio light, getting rid of non-core or not so core, all of that is not really be a part of long-term L&T's to 1,50,000 crore. So that 10,000 crore will take another year or two to really complete what we had planned.
Okay.
So that I'm going to do anyway, because we don't want to disturb what the company should be in future, that part of the focus and concentration in doing things which ought not to be with L&T.
So on track to divest businesses worth 10,000 crores?
10,000 crore by price or by turnover?
Well, that's the target that you set for yourself as part of your plan. It says businesses worth 10,000 crore rupees to be divested.
Well, I mean, if you really look at the divestment in terms of divesting money, it will be more than 10,000. But yes, you can say roughly 9 to 10,000 crore by way of turnover is really what will go. And that will help us to simplify the company. It is today four steps of conglomeration. I think that is too many, too much diversification, 82 businesses, 21 companies, over 100 JVs. So all of that is being worked upon. I have been working on it for some time.
So what would be the ideal structure going forward? As you just laid out for us, you believe that this is unwieldy. What will be the structure for the future then?
The CEO should run the company. He has about 7 to 8 colleagues on the board who have been given the various verticals for various industries. And then number of business people will report to him, and that's where the leadership stops. Thereafter, it is really the people who will implement it. And to me, this is the ideal. Right now, we have one more level. So that level, we want to take it out.
But that's the organizational or the leadership structure. What I was asking you about was in terms of further rationalization. You talked about getting out of non-core businesses, etc. But in terms of further rationalization of the way that the business itself, the group, is structured at this point in time.
Well, it is a constant process. As new opportunity comes, and we think it is a big opportunity, we really take on with that, but non-core is a continuous process. What is core today may not be that core after 5 years.
So what is non-core for you today as you look at things and where things stand?
See, we want to be. I will tell you what we want to be. I would say one thing is new economy, the new technologies. So we will keep IT company, we will keep technology services company. We have created a new division called Smart World, and that is going to grow. Right now it is 1,500 crores, started from zero 3 years ago, and it will touch $1 billion in about end of the 5-year plan. That means another 3.5, 4 years. And then our project business, which is very complicated.
Yes.
We won't do, let's say, ordinary roads and elevated highway and stuff like that. But right now, you see, we are doing a lot of military projects in construction. There's nothing to do with defense. There's the construction part. Underwater construction, complicated construction, the border tunnels.
So you stick with that, or you don't want to stick with that?
No, this is our core.
Yeah.
And that is the building infrastructure. But infrastructure with 20 other companies or 10 other companies can do, we won't do. 1 or 2 companies, maybe 3 maximum in the country, those who can attempt to do. Not that they all can do, but at least they will be qualified in the tendering process. So we'll do only those very, very complicated infrastructure.
So not the low margin kind of infrastructure projects?
I think the moment the skill is low, the margin is obviously low. So that's one. Building hydrocarbon project, hydrocarbon upstream, hydrocarbon mid and downstream. So that's a company we have formed separately now, L&T Hydrocarbon Project Limited. We have a CEO and MD, Mr. Sharma, who we took. He's doing very well. So that's the second part. Power in all its facets. That means power generation, either with nuclear or with fossil or with gas. And we also build solar plant.
Okay.
So that will remain.
Okay.
Then we have one of the biggest group or division, which is really transmission and distribution.
That's right.
And we have half the turnover from abroad, half roughly from within India. And that has all itself gone past 15,000 crores.
Okay.
So that will go to 25,000 crores over the next 4 years.
What about the services side?
Services are IT, engineering service.
Finance?
Finance. And finance is doing very well. Our issue price was 52 rupees. Initially, it went down to 40, 35, but now it is trading at 210 today. So we have multiplied 4 or 5 times in last 2-3 years. So I think that will remain. It will grow. Current market cap of that is nearly 40,000. We think our target in 2 years is to cross 50,000.
Okay.
And then we have a heavy industry,
Yes.
which makes nuclear reactor, which make nuclear submarine, which makes conventional submarine, which makes space equipment, and I would say defense equipment. Now, what I am saying changes continuously there depending on opportunity. So about 3 months ago, we appointed a director on the board of only defense.
Okay.
But the defense includes Navy, Army, weapon system and all that, except aircraft. We are not going to get into that. And we have 7 new facilities created, brand new. One in Hazira, one in Kattupalli, one in Vizag, one in Bangalore, one in Coimbatore, one in Pune, and one in Mysore. So we are all ready for different kind of opportunity that comes in different sphere of activities in defense. We are ready, we don't have to spend money. Now, we have created that ahead of time.
Okay.
Sometimes we lose money, we have lost money because the facility have remained unutilized. But now when the time is coming, I hope in next 6 months to 9 months, we are ready for that.
You know, your successor, I think it was said that the defense business for L&T is like a permanent startup. You just talked about how you managed to put the capital in place, and these facilities are now ready for the orders as and when they do take off. But on the broader aspect as far as capital allocation is concerned, given the experience of the past and where you want to be in the future, how do you see the capital allocation policy changing?
It's changing a lot because from the development project, whether it is power development or infra development, it was really a very heavy investment. We are now going to go more and more on a lighter side of the company. So we want to come out of very heavy investment oriented some of these projects and that is part of our non-core now. And I hope it is not easy to really get out of these because there are no buyers. But I hope
You're
someday,
struggling to find buyers for some of these businesses?
Yeah, because all want to sell. People who went into
where are you finding the most trouble finding buyers? And I also wanted to specifically ask you about your electrical business, because there seem to be concerns that LIC, I believe, has raised on the stake sale of the electrical business.
Well, that's a newspaper report, and it's a news
so
to
have
me.
they, or they haven't raised any concerns on that?
Well, at least that's a news to me, so now you know.
Okay. So where are you finding trouble getting suitors, finding buyers?
No, we are not talking about switchgear and some of the industrial product like valves and welding electrode and all that. I'm talking about the infra development, power development. There are 25,000 megawatt power plant available today for buy, but there are no takers because everyone is in a bad shape from the point of view of financing some of these projects. And people who want to dispose of need money because they have to repay the debt. So our whole economical equilibrium of selling and buying, both are at the moment stagnant because there is no real buyer.
Let me ask you about the state of the economy today. The last conversation that you and I had, you were hopeful that there would be a pickup and there would be a revival, but things haven't worked out as per expectations. How do you feel about the state of the economy today?
Well, it could be better. I mean, you have seen that the GDP has somewhat gone down. But I continue to be very hopeful that 6 to 8 months from now, as I had said before, except that it has got extended, it will continue to come back to 7.5%. That's what I think. Because what did not move at all in infrastructure, now at least have started moving. The Harbour project, that is connecting Bombay to New Bombay, it is a 18,000 crore project. The tenders are out, the results are out, and the order will be placed within a month. And that is the 15,000 crore worth of order that will be placed to the industry. Now that's one mega project, right? The second project is several metros in the country.
Yeah.
They've started moving. At least Bombay, there had been, last year we got, now the next metro already have opened, but they find that the estimate is high, so they are looking at it. Then, of course, this is a once in a while project, but we are also looking at building Shivaji statue like Sardar Patel statue we are building and will be ready next year for earlier than what we have planned. And then the coastal road of Bombay.
Yeah.
So around Bombay there are many projects. Elsewhere, very complicated infrastructure projects are not that many. Yeah, you can have defense project in civil work, but really state projects are not that many. We did bid a project, the bridge, very complicated bridge across Ganges, right? It's a 2 kilometer long there. And the competition, because it was World Bank financing, the competition was all over the world. And 2 Chinese were also in it. Because we have no way we can stop it.
Right.
Because it's an international financing. We turned out to be the lowest in price. So we could keep the competition Chinese out, and that was 3,500. But such kind of mega project where L&T
Are few and
excels,
far between.
and L&T excels there. And small project is something we don't really try because there are many others who can do that. But there are not many.
Okay.
So we need to have more projects come up, like high-speed railway. Now it is going to take some time. I mean, the foundation stone is laid, but possibly in 2 years.
You believe it will be a viable project?
I think considering the fact that it is financing of 60 years and 15-year more grace period, I think at 0.5%, it is as good as free money over a period of time if you take an 8% value and so on. From that point of view and the fact that 20,000 people will get jobs for a few years, it looks like an interesting project. Second, it is a symbol of, you can say, really more development of the country, that you are not underdeveloped. If you see really, France has a high-speed railway, China has, Japan has, and other country which does not have that fast bullet train. One, because they don't depend on train, like US doesn't depend on train. They have all over 500 plus airports, and therefore plane is really very well connected.